In a world full of uncertainties, protecting what we have is a constant concern. However, does this concern reflect a lack of faith in God, or does it demonstrate biblical wisdom? In this video, we will explore what Scripture says about prudence, protection, and preparation, and how these concepts can be applied to our financial decisions. In Luke 14, Jesus teaches us about counting the cost before starting any major project, a clear metaphor for the importance of planning and preparing for the unexpected. The Bible also encourages us to be proactive in protecting the resources God has entrusted to us. But does purchasing insurance reflect a certain lack of faith? Or is it a way to demonstrate responsibility and wisdom? Let's explore this question through biblical examples, such as Noah, who built the ark in preparation for the flood, and Joseph, who stored grain to face years of famine in Egypt. Grab a coffee or water, sit back, and subscribe to the channel for more videos that bring biblical reflections into our daily lives. Now let's discover together how to align our faith with responsible resource management, ensuring security for ourselves and our loved ones. The Bible clearly speaks about the importance of protecting what is valuable to us. But how do these ancient teachings apply in the modern era of insurance and finance? Since time immemorial, Scripture has offered guidance on safeguarding resources, emphasizing prudence and preparation. Throughout the Old Testament, we see various mentions of protection. In the book of Proverbs, for example, we read that the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Proverbs 22 verse 3. This passage shows us that prudence is a central biblical value, encouraging believers to prepare for adversity. Additionally, the concept of protecting family and possessions is recurrent. In Ecclesiastes 7 verse 12, it is said that wisdom is a shelter as money is a shelter, but the advantage of knowledge is this: wisdom preserves those who have it. This verse suggests that there is value in financial preparation, aligning with the modern concept of insurance. On the other hand, the Bible also warns us against excessive reliance on material wealth. Jesus, in Matthew 6 verses 19 to 21, advises, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven." Here, the focus is on the importance of trusting God above all else. This tension between being prudent and trusting in divine providence creates a rich area for debate. Many theologians argue that preparing for adversity, such as purchasing insurance, is a way to fulfill the biblical command to protect our loved ones. Therefore, the Bible provides a solid foundation for discussing protection and financial security, promoting both prudence and trust in God. However, the interpretation of these teachings may vary, leading to an important reflection for each Christian on how to balance faith and responsibility. To understand how these principles can be applied to our modern lives, it is essential to consider the cultural and historical context of biblical times and how it translates to today. If we buy insurance, are we showing a lack of faith in God? Or are we following a biblical guideline of prudence and preparation? This complex question divides many opinions within the Christian community. For some, the act of purchasing insurance may seem like a lack of trust and divine protection. They argue that God takes care of everything, and that by buying insurance, we are placing our faith in man and contracts instead of trusting in the divine plan. However, others see insurance as a manifestation of the wisdom God grants us. According to this viewpoint, insurance is a tool given by God to ensure that, in times of crisis, we will not be completely destitute. They view this as an extension of the principle of stewardship, where we are called to take good care of the resources God has given us. The Bible is full of stories of preparation and planning. Noah, for example, was instructed by God to build an ark to prepare for the flood. Joseph, in Egypt, advised Pharaoh to store grain during 7 years of plenty to prepare for 7 years of famine. These examples show that preparing for the future, even the uncertain future, is a concept that may be in line with Christian faith. Moreover, we should consider the parable of the talents in Matthew 25 verses 14 to 30. In this story, Jesus praises the servants who took care of and multiplied the resources entrusted to them. The servant who buried his talent, out of fear of losing it, was reprimanded. This teaching can be interpreted as encouragement to exercise wisdom in managing risks and protecting assets. However, the decision to purchase insurance should also be weighed with prayer and spiritual discernment. Each person must evaluate their own motivations and consult God to understand how best to manage their resources. Therefore, buying insurance is not a matter of lack of faith, but rather a matter of wisdom and stewardship. The important thing is that whatever the decision, it should be made in line with biblical principles and with a heart turned towards God. Preparation is a recurring theme in Scripture, but what does it have to teach us about managing our resources today? Are there biblical examples that could be compared to the modern practice of acquiring insurance? Noah, one of the earliest examples of faith and preparation, is often cited as a model of obedience and precaution. Faced with divine warning about the impending flood, he did not hesitate to build a massive ark to save his family and the animals. This attitude can be seen as an ancient form of insurance, where a preventive action was taken to ensure survival in times of crisis. Similarly, the story of Joseph in Egypt offers a valuable lesson on the importance of preparing for the future. When he interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, Joseph foresaw 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of famine, and, as a precautionary measure, suggested storing grain during the years of abundance. This preparation strategy ensured the survival of an entire nation during difficult times. Additionally, we have the story of the wise and foolish virgins in Matthew 25 verses 1 to 13. The wise virgins, who brought extra oil for their lamps, were prepared for the groom's delayed arrival, while the foolish ones were not. This parable reinforces the importance of being prepared and can be seen as a metaphor for financial preparation and protection against unforeseen events. These biblical stories are not just moral lessons, but also practical examples of how preparation is valued. Through them, we can infer that prudence and prevention are qualities that God appreciates, and this applies to how we manage our financial resources. The concept of insurance, then, can be seen as a modern application of these ancient principles. The idea of protecting what we have, of being ready for the unexpected, is a practice aligned with many teachings found in the Bible. When we consider insurance as a tool for protection, we can see it as an extension of biblical examples of preparation, helping us to be better stewards of the resources God has entrusted to us. How can we integrate biblical teachings into the way we manage our financial risks today? Is there a way to reconcile faith with the practice of buying insurance? Risk management is a fundamental aspect of good financial stewardship. In the Bible, we are repeatedly encouraged to be wise stewards of the resources God has given us. This includes making prudent decisions that protect our assets and ensure the safety of our family. To integrate these biblical principles into risk management, we must first understand that the Bible calls us to be prepared and prudent. This may mean investing in insurance to protect our resources against unforeseen events. By doing this, we are not showing a lack of faith, but rather demonstrating wisdom in managing the goods that God has entrusted to us. Additionally, it is important to maintain a healthy balance between trust in God and personal responsibility. We should trust that God is in control, but we must also use the resources and wisdom He has given us to make responsible decisions. This includes choosing insurance that meets our needs and aligns with biblical principles of prudence and protection. Another crucial aspect is prayer and discernment. Before making any significant financial decision, it is important to seek God's guidance. Praying about the decision to acquire insurance and seeking counsel from spiritual leaders can help ensure that we are aligned with God's will. Finally, financial risk management should be seen as part of a larger financial plan that includes generosity savings, and responsible investment. We must remember that all resources belong to God and that we are merely His stewards. By integrating these principles, we are not only protecting our resources, but also demonstrating our faith and trust in God. This shows that we are faithful in everything we do, including how we manage our money and protect our assets. Throughout this video, we explored how the Bible offers guidance on protection and financial security, and how these teachings can be applied to the use of insurance today. We learned that prudence and preparation are important biblical principles that apply to our daily lives, including how we manage our financial resources. However, we also saw that it is essential to maintain a balance between trust in God and personal responsibility. By applying biblical principles and risk management, we can protect our resources in a way that honors God and demonstrates our faith in His provision. If this content touched you positively, leaving a like is the best way to express your gratitude and encourage us to produce more content like this. I also invite you to share the greatest lesson you learned from this video. Leave a comment with your reflection or something that touched you in a special way. I would feel very honored and happy to know how this message impacted your life. See you in the next video.